watching the dragon outside.
All right, we're gonna get this going.
Seems we're going to have a France mirror, so this is going to be extremely exciting. The Civ, of course, has so many possible build orders, and in no way will they both do a semi-FF.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to see a 5-cav semi-FF from both players while both players take a TP and transition with a 14 villager age up. I doubt we'll see anything like that.
Yeah, that would be way too meta for these people.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything remotely standard in this this particular matchup on this particular 3 TP map, which is impossible, really.
Yes. For the people like me, I don't understand sarcasm. This is where I wave the flag with sarcasm.
Yeah, like that's what's probably going to happen. But we could be pleasantly surprised and see something a little less standard. But
it is always possible, of course. These are both around the PR 25, 26 mark. So sometimes these people do love to just cheese a bit. But we'll have to see. Anyway, we do have on the right side of Arkansas here in the color blue, playing as France, Hitty. His opponent on the left side of the map, playing in the color teal, also as France, Sargsyan? Sargsyan?
Let's just call him Fatty Bumbalati. We're going to just call him Fatty Bumbalati, or the color teal, the teal player.
I think the way you pronounce that name is Bob. Anyway, we do immediately see Bob here picking up 40 food, which is going to give him just that slightly faster age up, potentially.
Yeah, then it highly depends on herding and things like that. That 40 food could end up being truly meaningless, but it's a nice thing to pick up for sure.
Yeah, I already see a couple of very influential treasures here already. 90 food guarded by 3 wolves is definitely very nice. These 3 bears are a bit annoying sometimes, but you can definitely micro that.
Yeah, that treasure down there is more so the time of you have to spend on it than it is the actual difficulty of the treasure. And then it'll just come down to lag and see who can right-click the fastest. Picking up another coin treasure. Always nice. Is he going market? Nope. They're both sticking with Oh, we got a little divergence from the build here. Bob, or the teal player, has elected not to build a house and leaving his wood crate on the floor
as well.
So I smell a 12-10 coming from Bob.
Oh, is this the famous 4 pool? Well, I guess it would be more like a 6 pool. Anyway, we do see that he is starting to also go for the black bear villager treasure. Hitty, that is.
Yeah, and he should have it with no problem with Bob, or the teal player. Let's just call him the teal player to avoid actual confusion for people joining the stream late. He's on the complete other side of the map, should get that villager treasure no problem, as you can see. And
some health, so if it does come down to an explorer confrontation, he might be a bit at a disadvantage, especially if Theo can get this tomahawk, which he does scout with the native.
Just hold on one second. My dog needs to be next to me at all times, so I need to pick him up real quick.
And it does seem you were right, actually. Theo is indeed going for a 12-10. However, the native scout from Hitty has scouted that, I believe. I'm fairly certain he went back here to see there was no house being made.
So I actually don't dislike the 12-10 here. I mean, granted, Hitty is not going to be as much hindered because he, if he wants to, can skip a vill, and he is going to skip a vill since he picked up that villager treasure. So it's not going to serve him as much of an advantage as it would have if this had been a truly standard build. He's only going to be about, what, 15% ahead in terms of age up. So he's sacrificing two potential villagers for that. In the long run, I think it's going to be negligible depending on how rating goes.
Yeah, and unless he gets his TP up relatively soon, he might not even have a shipment ready for when he does reach Colonial, which would nullify a lot of the advantage that this particular build gives you, which is, of course, the quicker H2.
Yeah. And Hitty is stealing so if he's not going for the middle one, then...
Actually, with how the teal player currently has his explorer positioned, It would seem he might not even be going for a TP. He's not chopping any wood at all. He's just gathering a lot of food and coin. So this might actually be more of some sort of aggressive rush.
It would lean to think that. I mean, it's a bit laggy. Oh, let it begin.
Let me just quickly check my OBS. I am not dropping any frames, so it might just be distance that is playing the part here. Or the shoddy software of this game, of course. That is also something to mind. Another thing, though, is that Teal also doesn't have a market, so Hitty is going to be in a relatively significant economic advantage here for most of this game. It's a bit weird that he's building a stable. Like, if you were doing a rush like this, you would generally suspect a barracks to push with musketeers. So I'm quite interesting to find out what he's going to do with this stable. Maybe it's just actually a straight FF instead of a semi that we usually see.
That's what I thought, but he just dumped a bunch of resources into Cav just now. He looked like he was posturing for an age up, but all of his resources are gone.
An 8 Hussar push.
Yeah. So
this doesn't really kill the opponent necessarily, it just kills all their villagers. Which, in this game, you know, it's basically the same, right?
You're containing him, you're controlling it, but we have a proxy stable here. And I don't know how effective this is going to be. All of anything that could defend him is going to be in his base right here. And it's going to be Battle of the Raids. It's going to be who can raid more effectively. Now, the Teal player obviously has more Hussar coming out in the early game, but
he's adding a second batch of them as well.
Yeah, and his ecos, Hitty's eco is entirely idled right now. There's not a single villager gathering. I mean, except for the one free villager that he got way down low. So all this idle time is definitely going to be effective, but he has to maintain that pressure to make up for the economic deficit and the lack there of trade posts.
We do see a CDB die here. Possibly a second one? Yeah, 2 CDB go down. So, yeah, the Teal player has lost 2 CDB and a Hussar over Hitty.
Bringing the disparity of villagers to 7, which is...
8 if you recalculate.
Number. Yeah.
Which is definitely not insignificant. Although he is getting a really good flank on these Hussars here. Yeah, these are all dead, right? Like, I don't think
no, the 2 are going to get away.
Okay, he does get the split.
Yeah. The trees screwed him there, but...
Still a very nice catch, though. And this one free villager is going to die as well, of course.
Yeah, Teal needs to make the most of his micro if he wants to stand a chance in this game, I think. He really needs to win every micro battle and lose as few villagers as possible. But adding 2 Raxes now, the Hitty.
Yeah, and I really like this stealth scout position.
Yeah, you can see what's coming from your south, and if you just click to the, if you're just gonna have things go directly to the left, you're gonna catch that a little bit. And when he decides to go to his next hunt, which is down here or even a little more to the right of that, he's got a potential look at it. So yeah, I agree.
But I remember when we were waving the sarcasm flag. Yeah, I mean, neither of them is going for a semi, so...
Well, one might have been a reaction to the other, but the sarcasm flag was definitely lowered. I mean, we were wrong.
Yeah, and it seems the players were like, haha, let's make these casters look like fools today, shall we?
I do a good enough job making myself look like a fool, thank you very much. The old 8-minute market coming down for Bob, the Teal player.
Yeah, but we do see a full batch of 10 musketeers here coming out for...
This is going to be a problem. He's going to lose it. He's going to lose at least 3 vills here.
Oh, yeah, more CDB going down. Actually, I think it's just going to be just 2. He reacted pretty quickly with the other ones, and the Hussar are coming to reinforce. Well, unless there's like a low HP one here, but there's not.
Yeah. Okay. And 4 CDB coming down for Bob, the Teal player. And might even things up just a little bit, unless the blue player adds 4 CDB of his own, which is probably likely. We have 10
Blue
Musks
actually
joining the fray as well.
4 CDB as his first card.
Oh, so then, pardon me.
Oh, the Musketeer is actually getting somewhat of a catch here on the Hussar. And by the way, even though Hitty has had this market for quite a while, he only is on hunting dogs at the moment.
Yeah,
so
could be,
maybe Teal is not quite as far behind as we first assumed.
Well, yeah, their relations are almost about even. Granted, most of that's Hussar, and he's got 20 Musks, so if he pops Minutemen here, he can probably trade very effectively. And I think that's what he's looking to do, since he's kind of just waiting. He's just kind of kiting back and waiting for him to get a little closer. Might lose a Musk there, I don't think so.
Blue definitely has to be careful, though, because if it's a fight he's about to lose, he cannot run away. Like, these Hussars will snare his entire army. So he needs to be careful about committing. And he knows that. You can see him posturing rather than just pushing.
Yeah, I mean, he has map control. I'm apparently having some audio difficulties that I'm going to have to address at some point, so bear with me, guys.
Yeah, I kind of like how Blue is dedicating just a couple of CDB to gathering on the berries to just preserve some of his hunts. Like, sure, these don't gather very efficiently, which is, of course, a pretty big downside, but it allows you to gather safely for longer. Oh, but we do see the Musketeers here, catching Teal's Musketeers, and this is a really big catch for Hitty here. I would definitely put him quite far ahead in this game. He's 10 recalculated eco population ahead, and also ahead in military.
Yeah, and also Bob, the Teal player, is down another coin mine. He has to go to that more exposed coin mine in the back. Still very easily gathered, but when you have a large army that's just trotting around...
Yeah, the one upside he does have is that his army is a lot more mobile than the blue army. Blue army is just pure musketeer.
Yeah, but when your army's, you know, about 70% Hussar, it doesn't matter about the mobility. Adding the 8 crossbow might be helpful, but he's going to go for the... and he's also got that Minuteman pop, and I think... No, he's not going to go for it. He's going to try and get whatever he can, take off that one Musk. He's going to lose a Musk too. He's not trading very effectively here.
But Hitty is Fortress. And that is a problem.
Yeah, now he's got to go now. The Minutemen are involved. Hussar in a decent position, but they're not running around. They're not causing the Musks to idle. They're just trading and trading very ineffectively.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't be tanking here.
Yeah, he might win this fight, but not by a huge margin. But France is in Fortress now and has a shipment stacked.
And he might even get away with some of these musketeers, depending on how well he plays this. If he splits off like a couple to try and distract them, he can probably run away with some. But he lost his entire Cav mass, which is definitely somewhat annoying, because you would like to upgrade those to Veteran if you can, to just have some bit more meat in your Fortress army. That being said, though, Hitty is gathering in some pretty far places. His herding not the greatest, it seems. But with the Hussar mass, of course, being destroyed, it's not nearly as much of an issue.
Exactly. He doesn't really need to. He has the, you know... He is dictating the pace of the game. It is his game to lose. Depending on how good his scouting is, this army could do some damage. Hitty is floating what looks like industrial level resources. So it looks like he's going to Age 4. And he is.
Oh,
and
wow.
This is honestly just a disrespect move. It's not even a strategy. He's pretty much already won the game.
Yeah, especially if you look at this deck, like, he only has 2 factories in H4, so I highly doubt that this was actually his plan all along.
Yeah, I think he's just aging up to say he aged up, and honestly, this could bite him. He's going to lose at least some villagers if he finds the hunt. Yeah. But it's very obscured by those trees.
I mean, to be fair, it's also just possible he made a macro mistake, right? This happens to me as well sometimes, where I'm like, oh, I'm floating 2,000 food and like 700 coin. I guess I get the rest of the coin and go industrial because there's no way I can spend this fast
it's
enough.
easy to float resources when you're Japan because, you know, you just get so many for doing nothing.
I'll have you know that Japan has one of the worst late game ecos in the game.
But units
yes.
just don't die
Anyway,
either,
that's
but...
besides the point. But it seems that Teal is going to follow to Fortress, which probably is a mistake, actually, considering Hitty is going industrial. Of course, he can't know that, but...
This is just silly.
An awkward game.
Yeah, this is just silly.
Like, he is going to reach Fortress and be like, oh crap.
Well, he's going to reach Fortress and he's going to think, hey, I might be in this, and then he's going to see that he's industrial and just kind of look at it and be like, why? He's got 2 Falconets sitting in his base. He's just, instead of deciding to win the game now, he's just deciding to take the decisive advantage and win the game later, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
2 Falconets, it might have actually been his plan. Look at this.
Oh.
Like, 2 Falconet shipment, then age up with 2 Falconets, and then push with a Musketeer Falconet mass, getting veteran. I don't think this is enough, like, meat to actually protect 4 Falconets, though.
Absolutely not. You need
I'm pretty sure the 4 Falconets are more population
like
than his Musketeer mass. Now he needs to get an artillery foundry and research field guns or whatever that thing is called. Oh, look at this sneaky scout from Hitty, showing him exactly where the army is. And these 4 Falconets are going to obliterate his infantry mass and some of the trees.
Only you can protect forest fires, kids.
Yeah, luckily cannonballs don't cause forest fires, they just cause deforestation. Oh,
and that's the resign.
Teal just had enough.
R.I.P. Bob.
I mean, that was definitely a very awkward game. He did this very aggressive 12-10 stable Hussar push thing, I guess. But Blue defended it pretty well and even did some counter raids with his proxy stable. And then it just snowballed from there. Oh, is this a best of 1?